10 of the biggest Canadian rock artists of the 1970s. Though some may not be considered real rock, they certainly were rock stars in many Canadians' eyes. In the 70s, Canada had no shortage of superstars. There were bands like Klaatu, who for a while were thought to be the Beatles in disguise. The Stampeders with their row of hits from the 70s. Play Me That Rock and Roll Song with Valdy, he had quite a few hits. Burton Cummings went solo in the 70s. Bruce Cockburn's singer-songwriter slant was incredibly successful. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention Stompin' Tom Connors. Murray McLaughlin had a lot of hits. Then there was Red Ryder. Here are 10 of the biggest from the 1970s. Chillak. They were formed in Vancouver in 1970, evolving from an earlier band called The Collectors. Led by guitarist and singer Bill Henderson, the band achieved a lot of success in the 70s and 80s. Lonesome Mary, Crazy Talk, and in the 80s, of course, their big US smash, My Girl, Gone, 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 and I Believe. April Wine. Anyone who listens to our channels knows that we love Miles Goodwin and April Wine. Some of their big albums include Electric Jewels from '73, Stand Back 2 years later. That album became the first by a Canadian band to achieve platinum sales in Canada. The follow-up, The Whole World's Going Crazy, in 1976, was the first in Canadian history to have platinum advanced sales orders. Their biggest album was The Nature of the Beast, which came out in the early 80s. Some of their biggest songs from the 70s, Hot Chocolate's You Could Have Been a Lady, that was a great cover that reached number 2. Another cover, Elton John's Bad Side of the Moon at number 16. Then Tonight Is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, which peaked at 5. The title song to The Whole World's Going Crazy also made it to number 5. You Won't Dance With Me in '77 at number 6. And Roller, which became one of their signature songs as far as rockers go, peaked at number 24. At number 8, Anne Murray, the pride of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia. She gained international fame in the 1970s with the hit Snowbird, which was written by Gene McClellan. But she had a lot of hits in the 70s. A familiar Loggins and Messina tune, Danny's Song. In '73, she had major crossover appeal to country artists and always came across like a very down-to-earth person. And we hear, according to the Boys in April Wine and many other bands, she's an amazing golfer. The Band. They were a rock group originally formed as a backing group for rockabilly singer Ronnie Hawkins. Known as the Hawks before evolving into a standalone act, the classic lineup consisted of 4 Canadians: Rick Danko on bass and vocals, Garth Hudson on keyboards, Richard Manuel on piano and vocals, and Robbie Robertson on guitar and vocals. The one American was Levon Helm on drums and vocals. They gained fame with albums like Music from Big Pink and The Band. They were known for their blend of rock, folk, and country music. Number 6, Joanie Mitchell. It's always been said that Joanie could describe anything, a cup, and make it sound interesting. Some of her biggest albums, Blue from 1971, also Court and Spark. Of course, the album Blue contained River, which has since become a Christmas song, a very melancholic song featuring that memorable piano riff. A Case for You, a deeply personal song with vivid imagery and emotional depth. In '74, Mitchell released Court and Spark with the hits Help Me, one of her biggest songs, known for its jazzy feel and catchy chorus. Free Man in Paris, a song that was inspired by her friend and music executive David Geffen. And Raised on Robbery, one of those really lively Joanie Mitchell tracks with a lot of rock and roll influences. Her innovative music and very poetic lyrics have influenced so many artists that we could go on with names for days, but most singer-songwriters have been influenced by Joanie Mitchell. Bachman Turner Overdrive, and yes, we said that name right. We've interviewed Randy Bachman 3 times. He also says he doesn't mind if people say Bachman. This band were one of the biggest in the 70s, and it's impressive that Randy Bachman was also in the Guess Who. Their classic lineup also included C.F. Turner, as he went back then, known as Fred Turner, Blair Thornton, and drummer Robbie Bachman. Tim Bachman was in the first incarnation of Bachman Turner Overdrive. Some of their biggest songs, going back to '73, Blue Collar, Let It Ride, which reached number 3, same as Taking Care of Business. Those were from '74. You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, their first number 1. Roll On Down the Highway was a number 4 hit. Hey You reached number 1. And interestingly, most Canadian kids had at least one Bachman Turner Overdrive album in the 70s. You couldn't have a list like this without mentioning Rush. Not a band known for necessarily having hit singles, They're also a group that sometimes creates arguments at parties, people saying they're a rock band. No, they're a prog band. They're maybe a rock and prog band? On their first album, John Rutsey was their drummer, but he was quickly replaced by Neil Peart. The classic lineup also included Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. Their second album was a big hit, reaching number 9, Fly By Night. Caress of Steel didn't do so well. The record company told them to get back to basics and create something more commercial. Instead, they went the other way and became even more successful with 2112. To many, an experimental album, but it just worked. Then came a string of records that did incredibly well. A Farewell to Kings in 77. Hemispheres in 1978, and then the real big time for Rush, 1980s, with Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, Signals, and Grace Under Pressure. Gordon Lightfoot. At times, people would say he was Canada's answer to Bob Dylan, a complicated man who wrote serious songs. He died on May 1st, 2023, and left a lot behind. He released a lot of songs in the 60s, like Bitter Green and the Canadian Railroad Trilogy, but he was on fire in the 70s with songs like Me and Bobby McGee, If You Could Read My Mind, Sundown, Carefree Highway, Rainy Day People, and The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, a song about a sinking ship that shouldn't have been a hit, but it caught on with people's imagination. And it was a true story. The Guess Who. Many would consider the Guess Who the quintessential Canadian band. They were from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and first started out as a Chad Allen band. At one point, Burton Cummings became the lead singer, and things really took off. In the late 60s, there were songs like These Eyes, Laughing, Undone, No Time. 3 of the 4 were top 10 hits. 2, Laughing and No Time, reached number 1. They started the 70s with one of their biggest songs of all time, American Woman, reached number 1, as well as its follow-up, No Sugar Tonight. The hits continued with Hand Me Down World, Share the Land, Hang On to Your Life, Albert Flasher, Rain Dance, Sour Sweet, Running Back to Saskatoon, Glamour Boy, Star Baby, Clap for the Wolfman, and Dancing Fool. Number 1, Neil Young. Also from Winnipeg, Manitoba, he is one of Canada's most prolific singer-songwriters and musicians. He's known for his very distinctive voice and guitar work. Young was born November 12, 1945 in Toronto, Ontario. He gained prominence as a member of Buffalo Springfield, and his work with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and his very prolific solo career. Some of his big albums, Harvest from 72, On the Beach 74, Tonight's the Night in 75. Some of his most popular singles include Only Love Can Break Your Heart, Heart of Gold, Old Man, and Rockin' in the Free World. If you want to donate to the channel, we have a PayPal link at the very top of the description. You can join Patreon, get early access to all our videos, and go to our swag store. You can pick up a Rock History Canada t-shirt, cap, coat, or T-top. Remember, subscribe to our channel, comment on our videos, like them, and share them on social media. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Canada.